Jazzcast Pros.
Hello there, my graceful grinders. This is Dr. Pamala Brown-Grinion, and I am the president and CEO of Totally Unique Educational Consultants. Welcome to episode 15, and I'm so excited. Episode 15. I did not know how this journey was going to go, but I do appreciate you for being with me week after week and for your comments and feedback and for liking my videos, for sharing my videos, and for following me on social media. I truly don't take that for granted. Well, today we are going to talk about setting New Year's resolutions. I'm sure that you have embarked on New Year's resolutions before. So I'm just going to jump right in and just talk about this psychological temporal landmark that gives us a clean slate to increase our motivation to make positive changes. But before I do that, I'd like to share with you a little bit of history about where these resolutions actually came from. Some cool facts, right? So approximately around 2000 BCE or AD, same thing, Babylonians were believed to be the first to celebrate New Year's, and they did so in a 12-day celebration in March. And March actually depicted the new year back during those times. And what they would do is make promises to their gods to repay debts and return borrowed items. And they believed that this would help them to earn divine favor for the coming year. People believe all kinds of things, right? So around 46 BCE, Julius Caesar actually changed our calendar to how we use it today and marked January 1st as the beginning of the new year. And during that time, Romans would offer sacrifices and make vows to their gods to have great conduct in the coming years. And then again, around 800 CE, which was around the medieval era, in Europe, it was tradition to shift to more religious practices, and knights actually took what was called the peacock vow at the end of the Christmas season. And they did so by reaffirming their commitment to being more chivalrous and practicing more morality. But now in modern times, which actually began around the 17th century, we began to use our New Year's resolutions to make promises to ourselves for self-improvement. And adopting to this process became central to how we celebrate New Year's Eve and how, or should I say, when we decide to make these promises to focus on introspection for some, morality for others, and just making personal commitments to self-improvement. I never knew any of that until I decided, I want to know where this comes from. And I was intrigued by it. So I thought, well, maybe some of my listeners would be intrigued as well. So I decided to grab that history for you. Now, I want to ask you a question. Do you know what the top 5 New Year's resolutions are? And let me say to you that I have made each one of these resolutions multiple times, and I have failed miserably multiple times as well. But I have had some successes. But for the most part, because I didn't manage it properly, I didn't do well. So number 1 would be to exercise more. Improving our physical health, mental clarity, overall energy, taking your vitamins. I'm going to start having my smoothie twice a day, things like that. Or some people, number 2 is their big one, eating healthier. I'm going to practice better nutrition. I'm going to cut back on processed foods. I'm going to cut out my sugar. I'm going to eat more vegetables. I'm going to follow a specific plant-based diet. Tried it all. And what does that equate to? I want to lose weight. I'm going to practice weight management. I'm going to incorporate exercising and eating healthier because I know that that's what helps me to lose weight, especially after having a quite indulgent holiday season. Do I have any other guilty ladies out there? I know it's not just me. Okay. How about number 4, saving money and spending less? I'm going to practice more on spending my needs and putting up my wants or my desires, right? Financial goals have been a big focus of mine for a very long time. I pay attention to budgeting. I pay attention to paying off my debt. I pay attention to saving for emergencies and cutting out unnecessary spending, especially if my aim is to achieve long-term financial stability. Now, I must be totally honest with you guys and say, I didn't always have these practices. Okay. I was an impromptu shopper. I took care of my desires before I took care of my needs. I didn't budget. I just spent. I had no idea of the relationship that I had with my money until I didn't have any and I decided that I needed to do things differently, right? Am I where I want to be? No, but I am practicing better habits so that one day I can achieve the financial freedom that I desire. And number 5, focusing on mental health and self care. This is an area where many of us probably don't focus as much as we should, but it is very important to increase attention in this space and just promote mental well being and managing stress and practicing mindfulness, setting boundaries for yourself, especially if it causes you any type of mental angst or anxiety, and then prioritizing your self-care routines. My self-care routine that I enjoy, well, I have multiple ones, but some of them are going for massages or writing in my journal or just stretching at night when I get in bed, meditating. I like listening to brainwave sounds just for mental clarity. And I know some people say, Pam, it's a little too far. But don't knock it till you try it. Okay. Don't yuck my yum, because I happen to enjoy practicing mindfulness and just thinking about self-care. Now, I want to share with you some informative facts that I found while doing my research around New Year's resolutions. Did you know that people who set resolutions are 10 times, yes, I said 10 times more likely to achieve their goals than those who don't set any intentions at all, right? It's like if you don't write down a plan, if you don't put the information in the navigation system, you don't know how long it's going to take you to get there or the best route. So if you do have a goal in mind that you are serious about, write it down, set some intention, set some dates, and be intentional and proactive about going after the goals that you set. Also, writing down goals increases your success rate, which I just said. But did you know that people who write down their resolutions are 42% more likely to achieve them? 42% more likely to achieve their goals just by writing them down. Now, why is that number so large? Well, because writing your goals down, it provides you a certain amount of clarity. I can tell you that because I just wrote down 27 things that I've been holding in my brain with all of the details. And the other day it was just like, Pam, get this stuff out of your head, write it down and, just start, right? So I did that. And when I tell you the mental clarity that I achieved, that I felt was like, it was crazy just getting that stuff out of my head. So I wrote it down. I wrote down everything that I needed to do. I prioritized them numerically so that I knew what I should be focusing on in the near future. And then what are my long-term goals? So yes, writing your goals down can produce 42% higher rate of achieving them as opposed to not. Also, get you an accountability partner. 65% of people who share their goals with a friend have a higher success rate of achieving them. There's only 35% success rate when you try doing them by yourself. But if you share them with someone else, 65% success rate. Now, my best friends and I, we have decided that we are going to set goals right now. We didn't wait until the new year. We set them right now. We've started drinking more water. We've started walking more. We've started focusing on our spirituality more. We've started just doing the things that matter. We've decided that we're not going to spot change and say, hey, I'm just going to focus on my money, or I'm just going to focus on losing weight, or I'm just going to focus on eating better. No, we've decided that we're going to work on everything, but we're going to have special days that we're going to focus on these things, right? So just like you can't spot reduce with weight reduction, when you get on that treadmill, you're impacting your entire body. So if you want to change your life, you have to focus on all aspects of your life. That way you can experience pivotal success, ultimate success in achieving your goals and the way you feel just overall in your mental health and your emotions and the way you feel about yourself. And it's a great pick me up. It's a motivational booster for yourself when you're focusing on these different areas of your lives and you're being successful at them. Progress is more common than you think. About 46% of people who make New Year's resolutions report being successful just after 6 months of doing them, right? So if you feel like 6 weeks is long enough, it's not. You have got to stay the course. If it's important to you, you have to stay the course. This is what I tell my students. If achieving this goal is important to you, you have to want this goal more so than you want to quit in the moment, right? Because when you choose to quit in the moment, you're saying to yourself that quitting is more important than achieving the goal. So you have to do whatever it takes. You have to motivate yourself. You have to talk to yourself. You have to give yourself mantras to say, affirmations, whatever it is that you need to do to increase your vibration, to increase your positivity, to convince yourself that you can do this, this is doable, then please do that, right? You want to be part of that 46% who goes the long haul, who pushes to that 6-month mark and start to see some successes in what you're trying to do. Speaking of making it to that 6-month mark, for a long time, I used to hear that it takes 21 days to create a habit. It takes 21 days to break a habit. Okay. But in reality, research. This is not from the book of Pam. This is research. Research shows that it takes anywhere from 18 to 254 days, depending on the complexity of the habit, right? Now, if you're trying to stop using substances, or if you are battling with an eating disorder, it didn't take 254 days to develop that habit. It is more than likely going to take you more than 254 days to kick that habit. So extend yourself some grace and try to focus on the things that you know you have the power to change. It's in your power to change. Again, I'm going to say it's in your power to change, right? And then begin to work on those things. Don't wait until the New Year's. But if you need that psychological clean slate, whatever you need to do to get the change that you want to see in order to be the best version of yourself, okay? Now, in order to achieve New Year's resolutions, you have to use a thoughtful approach. You have to be persistent, and you have to be adaptable, probably to some new ways of thinking, because what it took you to get to this level is certainly not what it's going to require to get you to the next level. You're going to probably have to make some other types of sacrifices, even larger sacrifices, and put in a little more hard work than you had to do to get to the level where you are now. Why am I saying that? Because you're going to another level. You can't expect to coast from where you are to just get there. No, you're going to be tested. You're going to be tried. You're going to be pulled. You're going to be stretched. So just be here for it. Get ready for it, and just decide that you're going to sink your teeth into it, because achieving your goal is much more important than staying stagnant or staying where you are right now. So let's talk about the best ways to make our New Year's resolutions to stick. Okay. Make your New Year's resolution, set them up like a SMART goal: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. Specific means Clearly define when you are going to have this goal achieved. Measurable means how will you track it? When I was 210 pounds, that was the most I had ever weighed in my life. My back hurt, my knees hurt. I couldn't my body, my bone structure could not manage that amount of weight. So I decided to lose weight. And I decided some things needed to change and I changed them, right? But that's a horse of a different color. I can share that with you at another time. But I tracked my weight. I went from 210 pounds to my lowest weight of 160 pounds. And right now I'm about a 165, which is where I usually fluctuate now between 160 and 166, somewhere in between there. But I've been holding this weight steady now for, I believe it's my second or third year. But yeah, I'm holding steady because I am doing the right things for myself. And just make sure that your goals are achievable. Set realistic goals for yourself, right? If you know you can't lose 20 pounds in a week, don't put that type of pressure on yourself. Just try to lose 2 pounds in a week. Like do something that is realistic that you can do so that you can celebrate these short-term victories. Okay. And make sure that your goals are relevant and they align with your values and your priorities. For example, a priority might be, I am getting married. No, I'm not getting married. But someone might be getting married in June and they want to set some goals that are tied around, their wedding. They want to lose 20 pounds before their wedding, right? People do that. Women do that all the time. And then make sure that you have a deadline for when you're going to achieve this milestone and how you're going to have accountability for reaching that milestone. Okay. So make sure that your New Year's resolutions are, number one, set up like SMART goals. That way you can measure them. You can achieve them. You can celebrate them. You can see your beginning and your end, and just make sure that you have some accountability built in. Also, break your goals down into small steps, right? If you want to lose 20 pounds to fit into that wedding dress, like I said earlier, just start with 2 pounds at a time, then 3 pounds. But don't try to take off 20 pounds in 1 week, because when you don't do it, you get frustrated and then you tell yourself, I didn't achieve it, so I might as well eat 15 Twinkies. Well, that's not healthy, right? So be realistic with yourself and don't allow these changes to overwhelm you. And that's why you set the incremental goals. Okay. And also, if you're trying to save money, another example is, you can't save $500 in a week if you only make $500 a week. That's not smart, right? So maybe you can save $100 a week instead. So set goals that, break them down into small bite-sized pieces. You can't eat an elephant all in one bite. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, right? We've talked about writing your goals down, and it will give you clarity. It will clarify your intentions. I promise you. Also, a good thing to do, another thing that I tell my students to do when I help them with their goal ladder, their big dream goal ladder for success, I tell them to put it in the place where they visit the most. Some people visit the refrigerator the most. Some people visit the bathroom mirror the most. Some people visit their bedroom mirror the most. So wherever, some people may leave the house, come and go a lot. So put them by the door, but wherever you can see them visibly so that it's a daily reminder of the aspirations that you've set for yourself, put your plan there. Okay. Now we're talking about creating this plan. You need to map it out step by step. I call it making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, right? For example, a goal that I'm working on right now is putting together some affiliate marketing opportunities for myself. So I know what I have to do. I have to research different items that I want to be associated with. I have to contact those companies. I have to get the link, and then I have to do all the things that ties into getting clicks to my link and getting products purchased from my links, right? So there are things that you have to do. So research may be my first level of bread. And then my last level of bread may be launching. And then everything in between, contacting, setting it up, all of that would be my peanut butter, my jelly, my knife, all the things that I need to make the sandwich. So create your plan and make sure that it is something that is relevant to you. Okay. And put it on your calendar. Schedule the time to work on your goals. Have intentional habits. Be purposeful when you're working on your goals. If you're going to work out, put it on your calendar. I'm going to work out 7 o'clock every morning. I'm going to eat before 6 p.m. every day. I am going to, do whatever. Okay. When you create your plan, make sure that you put it on your calendar and make it just as important as you would going to a doctor's appointment or going to meet with a client. Okay. Again, building that accountability, because sharing your resolutions with someone just helps you to lock in with someone that is going to say, hey, like my friend Roz and I, we call each other and say, hey, did you have your water? Or, hey, I'm jumping on the treadmill. She'll say, are you going to walk the dogs right now? We have this accountability system that is working really well for us. And it helps us to also track what we're doing. Like she puts her information down in her journal, and I haven't started tracking yet, but I am going to start tomorrow using my Samsung app because it's an easy way to track my steps and how much calories I've burned and all of that. So where Roz writes hers down in the journal, I'll have mine in my electronic app. And I'm going to celebrate my wins. If I make it through the week, I'm going to say, yes, I made it through the week, and I'm going to do something special for myself, right? It may be having myself a $100,000 or a 100 grand candy bar, which is my favorite candy bar. I might binge watch TV for the weekend, a show that I've been wanting to watch, right? So decide what are the things you want to use to reward yourself and then celebrate your small wins. And then focus on your habits. Don't just focus on the outcomes. If you are getting on the treadmill every day, but you're going to eat a bag of potato chips every day, that doesn't make sense. So you have to align your habits with your goals, right? So be smart. Be smart about it. Don't do things that are going to be counterproductive to all the work that you're putting in. Again, your goal has to be more important to you than falling off. Okay. So focus on your habits, not just the outcomes, because you won't make it like that. You won't make it to your goal. I said earlier, extend yourself some grace. You have to use self-compassion. Why? Because it's going to boost your success when you face setbacks, right? If you don't have self-compassion, it's going to increase the likelihood of you falling off. And I don't want you to fall off. I want you to have long-term success. So extend yourself some grace. If you fall off from eating properly, if you fall off from watching TV too much, if you fall off from quitting social media, if you spend a little bit too much this week, don't say, well, I've already messed up, so I may as well just continue messing up. No, that's counterproductive. Get back on the horse. You don't have to let one setback set you back. So just keep going and fighting towards that goal, not the resolution, that goal, right? Because a resolution means that something is done, right? You've resolved it. These are long-term goals that you are setting for yourself. And it's not just a goal, it is a lifestyle change in most instances. And lifestyle changes are not resolved. They are linear. They are ongoing, right? So just be patient with yourself, be flexible with yourself, and allow for adjustments. If you said to yourself, I am going to drink 2 smoothies a day, but that's not realistic and you can only do one, then only do one. It's okay, right? That one smoothie is more than what you were drinking before. So it's okay to have just one smoothie. Again, extend yourself some grace. Accept your setbacks as part of your journey and bounce back rather than giving up. Okay. It's okay. And if it's becoming difficult for you, just begin to visualize what you see as successful for you when you're at your ideal weight. What do you look like? What are you wearing now? How are you looking when you step out of your Maserati SUV? That's my dream car, the Maserati SUV. So, how are you looking when you step out? Visualize that. Visualize, having the type of money where you can go in the store and you don't have to look at price tags. Now, let me just say it's smart to look at price tags. I don't care how much money you have. It's smart to know how and where you're spending your money. But I'm just saying, wouldn't it be nice to not have to? So visualize your success and then reflect and reassess regularly. What's working for you? What's causing you anxiety? If it's working, continue it. If it's causing you anxiety, then it's okay to, while you're reassessing, to change some things up. It's okay. All right. And just be intentional with whatever you're trying to do. Become intentional. Have intentional practices. And did you know that you can change your mindset about different things? You can. It's called neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity. And that means that you can change the way your mind perceives something. Your brain is a muscle that remembers. If you continue to feed negative stuff to your brain is going to say, I'm a muscle. This is what you fed me. This is what I'm going to recall. But if you start to feed yourself, I can do this. I got this. I can manage this. I can handle this. I deserve this. I owe this to myself. If you can start saying those things to yourself and visualizing and seeing yourself where you want to be and working towards those SMART goals and not giving up and seeing yourself at the place where you want to be. And when you fall off, getting back on repeatedly, even if it takes multiple times each day, then you can achieve that New Year's resolution, that goal, that plan that you've set. You can achieve it. And Chewy is saying also, he's agreeing with me that yes, you can achieve it, but you just have to continue to work towards it. Okay. Every day, move the needle. Now, by setting clear goals and staying consistent and practicing self-compassion, you can turn your New Year's resolutions into lasting achievements. But if you are finding it difficult and you are still saying, Dr. Pamela, I'm going to do it when I get around to it. I'm going to do it when I get around to it. Well, here you go. Here is your round to it. Can you see it? Here is your round to it. Now, one of my dear friends, Mr. Welton, my guy, my boy, my buddy and long friend of over 40 years, bought me these round to its to give to my clients, especially for people, I can't get you to see it, that keeps saying, I am going to do it when I get around to it. So I'm going to read to you what it says. It says, totally unique to it. And on the back, it says, this is a round to it. Guard it with your life. It could help you be more efficient. For years, you've heard, I'll do it as soon as I get around to it. Now that you have your very own, you can accomplish all those things you put aside until you got this round to it. Now, a to it is a small circular token that people use to remind them to stop procrastinating. So this is your electronic round to it. I wish you could see the engraving on it, but I do have these that I'm going to give to my clients to help them to keep it moving, keep it moving, keep it moving. Okay. Chewy said, keep it moving. Okay. So thank you so much for joining me on this episode talking about how to turn New Year's resolutions into your lifelong goals that you are going to achieve. I'm so glad that you joined me. Continue to like, continue to share, follow, continue to support, continue to send in your questions. I really appreciate them. All right. I am Dr. Pamala Brown-Grinion, President and CEO of Totally Unique Educational Consultants. Until next time, my friend, be sure to create your totally unique day on